What's up, guys? I'm Steve. I'm in Glendale, Arizona. Gonna watch the Anaheim Ducks versus Arizona Coyotes. This looks beautiful out here. You're watching Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. It's Friday night. There's lots of news to discuss. Seattle had a great day the other day.
Whoa!
You're going to tell me some stuff about what's going on there. And we're going to talk about the possibilities of an NHL team in Seattle, which is basically a given at this point.
It's
looking
given.
Pretty good. So hit me with some facts.
Good news for Seattle, maybe bad news for Quebec, because this is all folding in together here.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle ran a season ticket deposit drive this week, and their goal was 10,000 season tickets. They reached 10,000 season ticket deposits in the first 720 seconds of the event going live.
It's impressive. That's impressive.
That's amazing. 720 seconds. That's like, is that, I don't know, do the math.
I don't know, 4 minutes?
Yeah.
5 minutes or, I don't know.
6, whatever.
I'm not good at math.
Yeah. 60 into 720. 1,
Are you actually going to sit here and do the math?
2. 12 minutes?
12 minutes?
Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't think it matters.
Anyway, it was fast. Very fast.
And then they crashed? The server crashed?
Server crashed. And so people were stuttering and stopping, and they couldn't get in. They fixed the server, and within another little while, they had reached 25,000 season ticket deposits.
That's incredible.
That's unbelievable.
I don't understand that.
Well,
That's not money, that's individual tickets.
It's money.
Okay, that's money.
It's not $25,000. These are 25,000 season ticket holder deposit.
How is that even possible?
Well, if you're not going to build a 25,000 seat arena, then you've got a problem. So
even if you sold every single seat to a season ticket holder, how would anyone else who wanted to see a Seattle game watch a game?
Precisely. So
they can logistically probably only sell 14 to 15,000 season tickets at the most.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. And there's a bit of an economy built in here, and I think the Vegas found this, and I think Winnipeg found this, that the season ticket drive is only for deposits, and then later on to commit to the season ticket, you've got to belly up and pay the remainder.
Yep.
So let's say Upper Bowl Las Vegas season tickets might be $6,000 for 41 games. Might be. I'm just guessing. So you've put in your deposit of $200, or I don't know what the deposit amount was, but probably modest, but not insignificant, because they don't want, unserious people doing this. But at some point, it's going to be, okay, chop, chop, we want the rest of the money. And either you provide the rest of the money and secure yourself a season ticket, or you get your deposit back, because they don't keep it. And then they're probably down to this 15,000. That's the reasonable number.
You have to feel probably pretty good about people paying the rest, because Seattle's a very, I was going to use the word advanced city. It's not really an advanced city, but it's a very profitable, it's a city with a lot of business, a lot of technological business.
Yep.
It's an important city for technology. So
yeah. Aerospace, IT.
People get paid a lot of money there. It's pretty much a given that it's going to happen.
This is going to happen. It's going to happen to the extent that the Seattle, I don't know if it's the ownership group or a booster club. I'm not sure how involved it is deeply with the corporate structure of what will eventually become the Seattle whatevers. But the NHL allowed them to fly the NHL logo on a flag.
The top of the Space Needle.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And you know full well how protective the NHL is over anything that even comes close to appearing to be appropriating their logo or their identity.
Oh, yeah.
So the Seattle whatevers could not have come close to securing a wink and a nudge for that without some pretty serious expectation that this is going to happen. Now, the Board of Directors or the Board of Governors meeting won't be until June to actually vote on this bid, or this prospective bid. But clearly, Gary has decided
he's
that
down.
this is going to happen.
No season ticket drive from a team that's been successful has not turned into an NHL franchise. So if it didn't, this would be the first of its kind. I don't know why. I don't know what reason could prevent it from happening. I don't see any reason preventing it from happening. But it does cause a bit of divisional alignment logistical issues.
Yeah,
But that's the least of Gary Bettman's worries.
that's solvable.
Because he's all about this.
Yeah, and he's all about this, and there's lots of this. It's going to be $650 million this time, whereas Vegas was only $500 million. And what the NHL needs to see, and I read this on The Athletic, because I'm not a hockey business expert, but the Athletic article that I read, and I forget who wrote it, was very good. They say that the NHL looks for three things for a new team. One, a strong market capture area. Two, a good building that's going to make money in the building and with other venues and other events. And three, a solid ownership group that is not flimsy in nature, that it's really, really solid.
All of the other owners have to agree on the new owner.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's a very business-minded acquisition kind of thing.
Yeah. There's no love for hockey here. It's love for the George Washington and Greenback.
They're accepting a new partner into their broom.
Cartel, into their monopoly. That's what they're
Literally,
doing. Yeah. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The NHL has become quite successful on this business model with Bettman, as much as I'm not a fan. But anyway, it's good for Seattle. But now back to your other point. The alignment issue. Seattle would obviously be in the Pacific.
No question.
No question. That gives them one extra team, though. They end up having too many in the Pacific. So the quick fix would be to get two out of the Pacific and move maybe one in. Like you put Colorado in and take Calgary and Edmonton, put them in the Central. Mm-hmm. Or you could do other things like that.
You could move Arizona to the Central, but it's so close to Las Vegas that you'd have to probably consider them to be in the Central as well.
Yeah.
But and Arizona's also close to LA, and Anaheim. It's not that far away, and it's a mess.
It's a mess. But if Arizona stays as shaky as it is, Arizona might end up physically moving into the Central when it starts to play in Houston.
Yes, it still doesn't fix it fixes some problems, but there's still too many teams in the Pacific then.
I don't think so.
Oh, wait, no, except if Seattle gets a team as an expansion team.
Right, and Arizona
moves due to relocation, then that fixes everything.
Fixes everything. 8, 8, 8, and 8 right across the country or right across the continent, and everything is hunky.
32 teams, exactly what the NHL wants. It's the perfect number.
And now you have the Quebec.
The Quebec problem. And the only way that Quebec is going to get a team is if Carolina relocates, which isn't going to happen because the new owner just signed a contract that he wouldn't move the team for another 7 years.
A lot more solid.
Florida, who has very committed owners, even though they're not profitable, or I'm sure they're a little bit profitable, but not by much. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They're in the conversation of potentially moving.
Yep.
Carolina and them are the two teams that could move. Carolina can't move, so if you're a Quebec fan, you got to put your hopes in Florida, and that's likely not going to happen.
And back when Quebec made their last serious bid, they've got a rink built. They've got a huge fan base. We did a thing on the Q.
Yep.
And they have the highest attendance in the Canadian Hockey League.
Like 15,000 average.
Yeah, for junior hockey.
Yep.
In that
hockey would do great there. It's just it's a business decision. Now we have to talk about Calgary.
Well,
a little bit.
But before we get to Calgary, just before we leave Quebec altogether.
Sure, we can stay in Quebec. It's nice there.
It's lovely. When they put the bid in, it was around the same time Vegas was getting in and doing their bid too. So the Board of Governors met. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. And said, we're going to accept the Vegas bid. We're going to defer the Quebec bid. We're not going to say no, but we're going to just put it over here.
Yep.
And one of the reasons they said at the time for putting it over there was to get a little more confidence that Quebec could come up with $500 million. Well, guess what? It's not $500 million anymore. So if they weren't sure Quebec could come up with $500 million, and now that the price is a minimum $650, even for a relocation, as we saw in another research that we had seen, then what are the chances Quebec is now going to get a team, even if it's a Florida relo? You've got $650 million you have to come up with. When it was skeptical before that you could bring up 500 million
Yeah, it's 650 US.
US dollars.
Canada, that's 900 million.
Pretty close to it these days, yeah, at the
So
current exchange rate.
It's
So that's almost $1 billion in Canadian money.
There are, I believe, 4 franchises, maybe 5, that has a net worth of over $1 billion. This thing is New York, Toronto, Montreal, Boston,
I'm not sure who
or
the
Detroit.
other one is.
No, maybe it's Boston.
Yeah.
Anyways, Chicago. Chicago.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you think Quebec's going to be worth more than
LA?
Montreal Canadiens or like those top tier financial teams? Mm-mm. So
Hockey will do so well in Quebec. NHL hockey will do so well in Quebec, but it's like a locked room that has no door
yeah,
right now. And it's very unfortunate. I would love
is.
to see the Quebec Nordiques or whatever the new iteration would be come back and be a strong presence in the Northeast, what used to be the Adams Division.
yep,
And that would be fantastic for hockey generally and for the people of Quebec City particularly, and for fans of other rival teams like Montreal. It would be amazing. But under the current business model of the NHL, that's getting tougher and tougher all the time. And that
yes.
big arena, thank God they're putting a lot of bodies and bums in the seats for junior hockey, because that might be what they're stuck with for a long time to come.
It's unfortunate,
And
but
that is unfortunate. I think Quebec should get a team in the KHL.
that's interesting. The travel would be insane, but
It would be insane, but that would be like,
that's interesting.
there you go, NHL. We're going to the KHL, or we're going to the whatever. And back in the 70s, they started up the WHA. That was more of a risky venture, and it didn't turn out to pan out correctly. But it caused some drastic changes in the NHL because a competitive league was appearing. So the KHL is sitting there,
It is just sitting there waiting.
and they've got they've
A
been
team in
sniffing at
Finland.
yeah,
Or is it Sweden?
Finland.
Finland. China, Kazakhstan, Russia, Slovakia. One more, I think.
Yeah.
Latvia.
And some of these are former Soviet republics, so they're
Yeah.
not that far away. But the one in Finland, that Jokerit team,
Yep.
that's you could put some players on Quebec City to Helsinki. That's not much of a longer flight than it is from New York to LA.
What's the time difference? 4 hours?
Yeah, about that. Maybe
5 hours?
Maybe
Yeah.
5.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe
about it.
Maybe Quebec should play in the EIHL. In Britain.
That'd be funny. Yeah. But I would love to see if Quebec can't get what they want, and it doesn't look like they will. I hope they do something that is bold, because they have a rink that they need to fill.
Even an AHL team, maybe, might be an option. But
Even that, but that's kind of like kissing your sister, right? I don't have a sister, and you don't either, but I'm just guessing.
Okay. You want to switch over to Calgary?
Yes, finally.
So,
Sorry.
there's been lots of rumblings recently that Gary Bettman has confirmed that the financial situation or the financial negotiation situation is deteriorating in Quebec, Calgary. I think he's just playing it up a little bit because that's what he does, because he's a showman. But it doesn't change the fact that there is still negotiations going on with Calgary. It's the same negotiations that Edmonton went through 5 or 6 years ago when they were deciding what they were going to do with their arena. So if I don't ever see Calgary leaving the NHL, there's no way that Calgary there's no way that Calgary moves, not leaves. There's no way that Calgary moves and Arizona stays. Like, there would be a riot. Someone would literally snipe Gary Bettman because that's crazy. I'm serious. Like, he wouldn't live.
Oh,
because it
don't
would
talk like that.
I'm not saying go do it. I'm just saying that it would happen because it would be the absolute 100% proof that he is completely biased when it comes to countries. And he'll do everything he can to keep a team in Arizona, but he'll do nothing for Calgary. So there would be an absolute riot. I'm just saying. Calgary is not going to leave the NHL. If it does, I will delete this YouTube channel.
Don't do that.
It's not going to leave. That's how
The
confident I am.
only fun I have. No, just kidding.
Hey, you caught a shoplifter tonight.
I did.
You told that story on Patreon.
I caught a shoplifter tonight. I'm helping my community. I'm fighting crime.
Listen up, Gary Bettman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Because what you're doing to Calgary is a crime.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You should catch him and then become the commissioner.
Yeah.
Brent for commissioner.
Brentford Commish. Goat.
Anything else to add on this stuff?
Not on this stuff, but we do want to talk in another video about
Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto Maple Leafs and their season ticket, new season ticket prices.
Crisis. There's a crisis in Toronto.
It's outrage.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll stop this video. We'll talk about that next. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you're new here, I hope you can hit the subscribe button. We'll see you in that next video. Adios.